Hello friends, welcome back to the part 17 of this tutorial series. In this part we will be mostly focusing on the checkout and thank you page. But before we dive into the creation of the checkout and thank you pages, I wanted to add the favorite and all segmented buttons. So I forgot to add it in the earlier videos, so let's quickly add that here. I'll go to my tab 1 page, tab1.page.html, and in my header that's on the top, just below this toolbar, I'll create another toolbar, okay, that will hold my segmented buttons. So I'll use the iron segment selector here, which will contain an iron segment button. Okay, actually two of those. So first one will have a value of all, and the second one will have a value of featured and a text of featured as well, and a text of all. I'll put this in a iron label. Okay, and label all, and this one also under iron label featured. Okay, and this iron segment will have will emit an event iron change every time you click on any of these two buttons. I'll bind that to segment change function, which will have the event object here, and let's create that in our tab1.page.ts file. And this will have a simple method here. So we'll first extract the value from ev.target.value, and if value is equals to featured, what we want to do, we want to go to a display list and use the list array and filter that e.featured equals to true, else this dot display list should be the whole array. Simple. Now if you save the changes, quickly go to the application, let it reload. You see two buttons here. Where is it? And toolbar. Well, it should show, and the default, we put default of all here. Save it, go back, something is not right. Should give me this button here. Let me try to put it here. See if that works. Yeah, it's working there, but not sure. Oh, it's not displaying it in a new toolbar. Well, ideally it should. Because this toolbar has ended here, and to use color dark maybe. It's not even displaying. Let's inspect that. Toolbar. Okay, I guess my sorting labels are on top of it. Okay, so this one I need to move down till here, 114 pixels. Okay, that was the problem. Let's go to the toolbar here in the content and 114 pixels. Save the changes, go back, reload the app. It should be there. Okay, now we have the all and featured tabs here. So by default, to show you all, particular featured, we only give you 2 of them. And what we want to do, we would like to pass a null event here. We don't want to call it. Featured or when let's do this. So load more data is here. It's null h1 and return. Target.disabled. Let me check that. I don't want that to be executed. I don't want the infinite loader to work there. Still working, but at least it's filtering out the products with which are featured. Okay, target of 88. Okay, never mind. And we're also seeing these 2 warnings from the very beginning. Let's quickly fix that as well. For that we need to go to the app component.ts and we have here the platform ready function here, which is by default hiding the splash screen and all. So I've already done the code here, so I'll simply uncomment it and put a comment here. Okay, so we would like to import the capacitor from capacitor code and the plugins from capacitor code as well, and we want to check if the plugin is available with the name of splash screen. We would like to disable it or hide it when the platform is ready. Save the changes, go back, and these warnings should disappear now. Perfect. Okay, now let's quickly go to our cart service and add a couple more functions here to retrieve the taxes and the payment gateways. So first will be get all payment gateways. So return this.http client.get, and I will use this server URL /payment _ gateways. Also create a function to create new orders or get taxes. Let's create get taxes. I'll copy this statement here, put it there. I'll go to the taxes endpoint. Next we will create an async function for create new order, and we'll pass the order data, which will be of type order model. Okay, we need to create this model first. So we'll go here, create a file order model. Okay, export interface order model, and I'll paste in the schematic or the attributes. Okay, also I'll define an interface here for the line item model, and you can get all these fields or what fields you can use for order from the official docs here. So you go here, check on the orders, order properties. These are all the attributes that you can set in an order. Okay, and this is for the line items, like what all products you are sending. Okay, and let's close this. So we need to import this from the correct model file, and we want to continue working on the cart service. So first of all, we'll create some headers. Okay, new HTTP headers. This will be imported from Angular Common, and this has a method of set headers or set. Okay, and I'll send the right object header here, because if you remember, in my backend interceptor I've put this constant there to make sure that whenever this is passed in the headers, it will use these parameters or these writable keys. Okay, and this is how you skip the header or modify skip the interceptor or modify the request as per your needs. Okay, also, since you want to create new orders, you need to also pass in an additional header. That's the content type, which should be application/JSON. Okay, if you don't pass this, the data that you send in the post request will not be entertained by the REST API. Next, we will create a loader. This is to let the user know that something is happening in the backend, and the message will be placing order, animated true, spinner will be circular, and will present this loader.present. Okay, then once that is happening, we will go to the HTTP client and send a post request to our backend, this.server URL/orders, and in the body we will pass in the order data that will receive as a parameter here, and in the headers on the options will pass in the headers. Okay, then we'll subscribe to the call inside the service. Put async new order details, and here we wanna dismiss the loader and also empty the cart. We have created an empty cart function. We will call that, and we'll create navigation extras of type navigation extra, and this will be an object, okay, which will have a state. And we created something similar in our Angular e-commerce tutorial as well. Message will be order placed. Products will have this dot cart data array dot prod data and order ID will be new order details dot ID. Total should be pass float new order details dot total. So what all is been sent, then go to the documentation here and go to create an order. So this is the data that is sent, and this is the response. Okay, so you can choose whatever you want from here. So it sends a line item. I don't need it, and I will not empty the cart here. I'll rather empty the cart down here. If I empty the cart here, it will be 0. Let's define a type of n. Will go away. Just quick lease. And once that is done, cart is emptied. I'll send router use router.navigate and send it to thank you page and pass in the navigation extras. Okay, that's it. So now we need to create 2 more pages. Let's use Ionic CLI for that. Ionic generate page vendor pages / checkout. Pages checkout should be there. Yeah, it's there. Took a few seconds to show up. Next will be my thank you. Thank you. Cool. And in my app routing, I will have the routes created. Okay, the thank you route and the checkout route. So now if you go to tab 3.page, which has a go to checkout button, I'll use the router link send to checkout. Okay. And we'll also bind it to a click event. And for the checkout, we'll say let's not use the checkout function because we are using outer link, so I don't need checkout function to navigate the user. Save the changes. Go back to my app here. We'll add a product and we'll click on the checkout button. Add a product. Go to cart. Go to checkout, and I have fix this orientation or alignment. The reason it was not working is because I had the bootstrap imported in my app component.scss file here. I moved it from here to the global.scss. Yeah, okay. It will be available throughout the project. Now, if you can go to checkout with the checkout page here. I'm going to paste the markup for the checkout page in order to save some time. Okay, and let me check my notes. Have it here. Okay, it's a bit lengthy. You can simply copy and paste everything from here. That will be available in my GitHub repo once I upload it. Alright, and I'll put some code as well from my notes in the checkout page.ts. I will then explain what's happening there. So there we go. You say it's a bit lengthy. Import it. Payment gateway, create an interface. So this is the payment gateway response that you get here. Gateways, payment gateways, has to be a payment gateway, yeah. So list all payment gateways, you get this response. Okay, so I'll simply paste an interface here just at the end of the file. Alright, that should resolve it now. This should be product model environment. So I have this states list here. Okay, this is from India only. You will have it in the environment.ts file, like GitHub repo, or you can Google it and put something on your own as well. Okay, so customer, we don't have a customer model yet. Let's quickly create that here. Customer model, customer model, export interface, customer model, and for the customer I'll use these attributes. Again, you can reference the official docs here for the customers and choose the property you want. Save it, go back to checkout page, and this should be customer model. Okay, don't have auth service as of now. Add import statement. Storage should be from Ionic, not from TypeScript. Okay. So now I have created certain variables here, few booleans, variable to store the payment gateway array, subtotal, car total, list of products, user details, the states, Indian states here, rates, final tax. I don't need this, I guess. Or I store the math function, the class, whole class in a variable here. On init, I declare everything as false except for the same shipping thing. That's the default value. So by default, the billing address will be used as the shipping address. Then I'm subscribing to the get all payment gateways function in my card service, filtering it to only show me the enabled gateways and assigning to my local variable here. Next, I also subscribe to the car data, car total, and check if there is any user in my local storage or not. So it should be product data. Well, let me rename this for product data. Okay, and then I also call the get taxes function. I only need the rate, so I map it and get the rate. Okay, and then I calculate the total based on that rate. Okay, so this is the formula. Taxes multiplied by the subtotal and divided by 100. and if this value comes below 1, so I'll calculate a tax of 1 rupee, otherwise it will be the rounded value, okay, and the total will be subtotal plus the final tax. Next I have some accordions here, or collapse elements, okay, which I will be using. So for that I have used bootstraps data target and data toggle attributes, and as you can see I have 3 sections here. One is for the personal details, one is for the shipping details, and one is for the billing details. So I have named them accordingly, and based on that value it will check and toggle this boolean, and based on that toggle value I will have my icon that is here, that has a chevron up icon, up or down, that will be shown based on this billing or this boolean values. And I see a squiggly there, ng form, it's not imported, import that, line item models, line item models, that should be in my check tab 3 order model. Let me export this so that I can use it here. Okay, it's imported from, as you can see, models, order models. Next, everything is good. So now I'm using the template driven approach using ng model, okay, and every input has got a template variable here that is binded to ng model, okay. And for this to work, make sure you have the name attribute, okay. And I have a checkbox here that is looking for the change event. So it's the checked value is mapped to the same shipping boolean. So if that is true, it will be checked. If that is false, it will be unchecked. And if this is unchecked, my shipping details will be shown to you, otherwise not. Okay. And when you submit the form, here my button, I have a button here. This is my order summary. Below that I have a submit button. It will be disabled if my checkout form is invalid, and I'm listening to the click event here, not the ng submit. You can do that as well. Click on checkout. So my values, all the form values will be stored in this data variable here. Then I'll check if the form shipping is checked, then create all these or fill all this data here. Alright, and if that is not, then the billing, you see here, billing and shipping both have the same values, but in case if the same shipping boolean is false, we'll derive the values from the respective input fields, and then I will send the request to the create order route or function here. So let's test that in action. See that in action now, and I'm gonna open my backend admin as well, so that I can see a new order. I have an item in the cart already. Let me quickly add a hoodie as well. Hoodie. This one hoodie. Okay, so this is not. I don't have the what do you call click event here. Never mind. Let me filter categories. Not sure if I have a hoodie. Okay, I have it here. So add, go to cart. Let me increase the quantity to 2. I need 2 of them. And if I hit checkout, This is the page, so it's calculating the total, subtotal and taxes. And payment, for payment I only have cash on delivery available. Customer details, let me put test user test@gmail.com, any number. Oops. And for billing we put test address, city New Delhi, state maybe Delhi, postal code, anything you want. And since I have it checked, I don't see the shipping address fields. If I uncheck it, that will appear, and based on where you click, these chevrons will go up and down. Okay, now I have this as grayed out because I haven't entered anything in the shipping address, but I will check this and my button goes live. I click on the checkout button, it gives me an error, cannot read property 0 of null. Checkout page TS 117, TypeScript 117, so I'll go to 117, payment gateway 0. So this payment gateway, we have it here. It's an array, yeah. 0.id. Not with property 0 of null. So payment gateway set here. Well, it should work here as well. Payment gateway IP. We'll check out again. Got my payment details here. Test user test.com, random number, Delhi, cash and delivery. Clickless error. So it's not able to read the property. I don't know why. So I'm gonna pause the video for a few minutes and we'll be back soon. Alright friends, I'm back and I managed to fix the issue. The issue was with the customer ID here. Earlier I was using the method like this. Okay, I was trying to fetch the user details from the user details array, which is of course null, as we are not using any authentication. We have not implemented authentication, and we are not fetching any user details from the Ionic storage, so it will always be null. So for that we will use 0 here. That's the guest account, so we will check out as a guest here as well. So I commented this here for your reference, And I've also put some code in the thank you page.html. That's the markup, and some code here to fetch the data from the navigation extras that we are sending in the router through the router, and we'll display those in the thank you page here. Also, one more thing, whenever you're injecting this write object, make sure you do not put this in quotes, single quotes or double quotes, because this is an object or a constant that you have defined in your backend interceptor. Okay, so whenever you write this, it should be imported from the backend interceptor like this. If you wrap this in quotes, this header will not be parsed or deleted and will give you an error, HTTP error. Okay, and the request will not go through. So now if I go back here, okay, I've also loaded the backend here. Let me refresh it. So see, a recent order was placed 4 minutes ago. Let me place a new one. Alright, and suddenly the cart was not emptied. Let me check that here. This not empty cart. This should do. Okay, should work. Let's see. So I'm calling it after the navigation extras, which is fine. Okay, let's try it again. Let's go to the cart page. I have 2 products here. Gonna choose one, and this one is 3. Go to checkout. Let it load. Okay, so I'm gonna test user, test at test.com. Phone is anything you want, and in the billing, test address, no city, state is Sam, and I click on the checkout button here now. So wait some time to place the order, and it should take you to the thank you page. Okay, perfect. Your order number is 2290, and you click on home. Okay, let's see. Yeah, my card is emptied now. Perfect. So if I refresh this page, 2290 is there, and if you click this order, you'll see this has been placed as a guest user. That will be shown here under customer. It's not mapped to any user because we passed the user ID as 0. If you want, you can later assign this to any user. Okay, so that's about it with the checkout and thank you page, and we have done a lot, and I had to paste some code from my notes so that we can save time, but still we are around 40 minutes now. So you will find all this code in my GitHub repo, and the link will be in the description of this video. So please make sure to refer the files from my repo and copy the code from there. If you have any questions or comments, please put that in the comment section below, and in the next video we will work on the authentication part. Okay, so till then, thank you and have a wonderful day.